My tree silhouette went viral at Christmas time, so I decided to try something for Halloween. I printed out the silhouette of a haunted house, and instead of tracing it and getting the image perfect on the plywood, I decided to freestyle it and draw it on as best I could. After I drew it in pencil, I traced it with a black Sharpie, and then I cut everything out using a jigsaw. Before you cut into the wood, I'm using 1/2-inch plywood here, you want to make sure that you're cutting with the back side of the board facing up, because the jigsaw really kind of chews up the wood. The jigsaw cuts on the upstroke, so you want to just make sure that the back side is facing up when you're cutting. This is where you really need to trust the process. This isn't perfect, but just remember, we're only making outdoor Halloween decor. So I took my sandpaper, I used 80 grit, and I just did a quick sand of all the edges, and now I flipped it over, so now the front side is up. I should have done the boards the other way, but I didn't take that into consideration when I first started. So now I'm using 150 grit sandpaper, and I'm just giving everything a quick sand. The second really important thing that you need to do for this project is to use primer, and don't cheap out. Make sure you use a really good primer. This is a high hiding one because the knots in the plywood will leach through and it will discolor your paint. Now, I am painting it black in the end, so it might not be so bad, but still I wanted to make sure that I did this properly. So I'm painting the front and all of the edges, and then I'm going to make sure the primer is completely dry before painting. I'm applying some black paint here, and I'm using porch and patio paint because simply that is just what I had at home, but any exterior black paint would do. I did end up applying a second coat after the first one was completely dry, and then when everything was dry, I flipped it over and I put on the lights. I just ordered these lights on Amazon. I'm really happy with them for the price. I'll leave the link in the description. I did buy 2 boxes, but ended up only using 1. And I just spread them out and stapled them to the back. Just be careful that you don't staple through the wires. Sometimes you can split it and just staple 2 wires if you need to. And now for the really fun part, you get to plug it in and it's backlit, so put it up to a wall. And what do you think of my haunted house silhouette?